guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a quick glowy makeup tutorial for you. Summertime is upon us and it just makes me want to pull out all of my shimmery glossy stuff and just have a little bit of fun with it. So the prep that has already happened before I started this video is I used the same moisturizer that I recommended in my first makeup video, my quick makeup for moms. I will link it again below though. And then I also use the Ordinary Caffeine Solution again. I use this every day. It really wakes up my under eye areas and gets rid of that like baggy line that seems to want to hang out there all the time. And then to kind of pump up the glow, I used a vitamin C serum. This is Insta Natural. It's just something I found on Amazon. I don't think you have to have any sort of special brand. I do feel like it helps kind of give you a little bit more natural glow, and I bought it to help with the discoloration I have right here from my pregnancy, and I've got a little bit on my forehead as well. So I try and use it as often as I can. Sometimes I don't remember, but I definitely put it on today for this look. All right, so next thing I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna do a full foundation. I'm just gonna use it's called a Tinted Skin Veil. It's from NYX, which is of course one of my favorite brands. I think it's super affordable and super high quality. And I'm just gonna spread a thin layer all over just using my fingers. And I don't think it has to be perfect. For this kind of look, I think it's kind of nice to leave a little bit of your natural skin shining through. It'll make you look a little bit more, you know, just natural, and I think that's a good thing to do for the summertime. I think that we can kind of take it a little bit easier. In the winter, I tend to go full coverage. Let's cover up all that, you know, red winter skin. But in the summer, I like to let my skin breathe just a little bit more and give it a break. I live in the South, and so it's very humid, so any sort of fancy makeup look really just doesn't stand a chance. You can use all the primers and potions that you want, but by the end of the day, your face is gonna be running down your neck, and that's okay. I've accepted it. I've lived here my whole life. So anyway, I've got the first kind of layer on. I'll probably go back in with a makeup brush and buff it out around the creases like I tend to do, just so nothing kind of settles in them. But again, I just do that throughout. Next thing I'm gonna do is put on a little bit of the cream shadow that I also referred to in my last video. I'm gonna use this as a base. And I am actually gonna add a little bit of powder shadow to it just to kind of pump up the glow a little bit. But this is where I'm going to start. And then I'm actually going to take a little bit under my eye, which I don't normally do this on like everyday makeup. But again, we're going for a fun glowy look. Okay, so you can kind of see I'm pulling it all around my eye, and it's gonna make you look a little bit more awake too, which as a mom of a baby, I always need. Next thing I'm gonna do is take this Urban Decay Naked palette, Naked, I think I say naked a lot. And I don't forget what one it's called. I'll link it below. I think it's the second version that came out. I've had this for a while and I've used it a lot. I love it. And I'm gonna use this color, and it's called Half Baked. It's very shimmery and goldish, and I'm just gonna take it all over that cream shadow, and the cream shadow is gonna help kind of keep it from falling down so much and give it a little bit of staying power even in the humidity. And I'm not worrying too much about making it perfect at this stage. I'm just kind of packing it on my lid. So already you can see this is way more than I would do for kind of a typical day at the office or even just running errands or doing things around the house. I am packing it in. I'm bringing a little bit in the inner corners just so it makes me, again, look a little bit more awake. And then I'm gonna take, I think this is like a classic brush. I don't spend a lot of money on brushes, but I do own this MAC 217 brush. It's like the holy grail brush that all the makeup artists have, and it's best for blending. So I have a mirror over here. If you see me looking over here, it's because there's a mirror here and I'm using the camera as a mirror. I probably look a little crazy-eyed. But I'm just gonna blend the corners before that cream sets too much. And I'm probably gonna come back under the eyes with a little bit of that shadow too, but I'm gonna put some concealer there, so I'm gonna wait on that. And then brush through the brows. And instead of using my usual pencil and brow gel, I'm just gonna take a little bit of an eyeshadow from this palette. I'm gonna use the color Buck. It doesn't have any shimmer, it's a matte color, but it matches my eyebrows pretty closely. And just kind of fill in my brows in a softer way than I normally would. Just push a little bit in. Less is more during the summer, I feel like. I'm gonna do this side. My brows are looking a little bit crazy. I'm trying to let them grow out a bit and get a little bit thicker. I'm sorry if you can hear the trash truck in the background. He's coming through the neighborhood right now. So I'm just taking my time, pushing in a little bit of shadow. And if any falls down, we're gonna take care of it later, so don't worry about it. Okay, next thing is I'm gonna take a little bit of under eye concealer. I'm using the Revolution Fast Base Concealer in C1. Can you see that? Yeah. It's the one I use pretty much every day. Take that here. And pull it out a little bit farther here because that's where I'm gonna put my glowy highlighter later, and I want it to have a really solid base. Get rid of a little bit of the redness under my nose and this discoloration on my upper lip. And then I'm really gonna take it down in my Cupid's bow because I'm gonna highlight that with highlighter later too, and I want it also to have a good base. I'm gonna take a buffing brush, take a little bit up on the brow bone. Keep working it. Take your time. So what I'm doing here is I'm really setting up a good base for a highlighting product and a bronzer that I'm gonna use to really be key parts of this look. Because the rest of my skin, it's not too heavy. You can kind of still see, you can see my freckles, you can see some discoloration, but the areas that I know I'm gonna wanna highlight, I'm really kind of giving them a fighting chance by putting down a little bit of concealer. Blend it in a little bit. There. Looking a little bit more awake. Got a baby scratch, classic. He's really a nice baby. He's got these nails that he just digs into your skin. Okay, so that's done. Next thing I'm gonna do is take just the tiniest bit of powder. I use the Revolution Bacon Blot in Banana Light. And I'm just gonna tone down a little bit of the shine that I tend to get on my forehead. But I'm not gonna tone it down too much because we want a glowy look. But again, I live in the South, it's extremely humid. You're gonna get shiny at some point or another, so just be prepared. Next order of business is my usual blush. It's the Milani blush in Dolce Pink. I am gonna use a bronzer and a highlighter, but I still want a little bit of color. And if you put on too much right now, don't worry, because we're gonna be blending a little bit later on. Tiny little dab up here. Blend it out a bit. Just kind of a little hint of color to start out with. Next order of business is bronzer. I have this Hikari bronzer. I don't really think it's called Radiate. So this is a little bit old. I will try and find a similar product below if I can't find this exact one. But what I like about it is, well, the top is broken. I did that. But I like that it's got two little shimmery bricks here, and then it's got a little bit of color, and then it's got that deep bronzer. And I'm just gonna take my fluffy brush and swirl it and tap it off, because you can come in pretty hot and heavy with this one. And then I'm gonna take it from the center of my forehead and kind of make a number 3. I'm gonna do this and this. Oliver, there's a dog growling in the background. So what that does is it gives you color where the sun would naturally hit you, and it gives you a little bit of definition around your jawline. And we're gonna do the same thing here. Hang on, guys, I've gotta let the dog out. So same thing on this side. Swirl, tap, start going in, and I'm not pushing down very hard. I'm doing it very lightly. But it kind of looks like I've spent some time out in the sun, which I've spent a little bit of time out in the sun. But the sun would hit me right here. It would hit me here on the bridge of my nose. And it would hit me here on the top of my cheeks. And then we're bringing it down here just for a little bit of definition. And then we're gonna take one more swirl very lightly, and we're gonna take it down our neck and kind of blend it, just so we don't look a little bit too bronzed on our faces. And you can even, if you want to go really fancy, take it on your collarbone. You can just go nuts with it. But in the interest of time, I'm going to stop there. So I've got some bronzer on. I've started out a little bit light because I can always come back in and add more, but it's really hard to take away. So take your time with it. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes. You can do an eyeliner. I'm just gonna skip it because, again, I live in the South, it's humid, it's just gonna start running. And I'm gonna put in my favorite Maybelline Snapscara. And just concentrate on the upper lashes. Anything I put on the lower lashes this time of year will probably end up smudging and falling down. Okay, made all my funny mascara faces for you. And then, let's see, what next? I think I'm gonna come back into the eyes. The next thing I'm gonna do is come back to my palette, and I'm gonna use one of my favorite colors on my brow bone up here, and it is called Sin. It's just kind of a light pink color. I use it, oh my gosh, I used to use it every day, no matter what. It's just gonna give you a nice shimmer. And I'm actually gonna use it, because it is so light and not harsh, I'm gonna use it to connect the gold color on my lid to my brow bone. So that looks like a lot of shimmer, and it is, but it's not an overwhelming color, so you can kind of get away with it. Then I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. I'm just using the brush that came with the palette. It's also gonna hide any stray eyebrow hairs you might have, which, like I said, I do right now. So if you can see, if you're out in the sun, it's just gonna catch the light a little bit. And that's pretty much the eyes done. I am gonna come back in under my eye with the gold, with the half-baked color, just like I said I would. Right here. Do the same thing on this side. And then I'm gonna go back in with the Sin color and kind of help blend it out. There we go. Okay. Now, the piece de resistance is the highlighter I use, and all of these other products I've used you can find duplicates of, similar versions, but this highlighter I highly recommend. I will link it below. It's the Mary Lou Manizer. I guess this is Mary Lou. You can see I've had it for a while because the plastic's crinkly. And it's the Luminizer. I love this highlighter. There are so many different highlighting products out there, but this one packs a punch. We're not messing around with it. Wherever you put it, you are gonna instantly get highlight. I don't have time to sit there and build up color. I really don't. It takes forever. I have other highlighters that I like, but this one is the best. I'm gonna use this little buffing brush that I have used to kind of work the foundation through my skin. So it's got a little bit of my base on there, and that's okay. But what I'm gonna do is come up here to the brow bone and connect it here. So you're making kind of a C shape right there. And then pull it down. So whenever the light hits you, you're gonna see just this beautiful shimmer, and it's really gonna highlight your features. Come down here again, and I kind of drag it out. This is serious highlighter. Shows up really well on camera. I used it on my wedding day. Then I'm gonna take it down the center bridge of my nose and here at the top of my lip and my Cupid's bow. It just makes it look so pretty, and it draws attention to your features. Ah, I love it. Let's see. I might come in with a little bit more bronzer, especially on this side. We're looking a little uneven. Use my fluffy brush. Very lightly work it in. And my advice to you is every time you add more product, buff some more. And blend. So lots of glow happening here. There. I think that is the skin done. I'm gonna come in with some lip color. I'm going to use the NYX lip liner. Let's see if we've got a color here in nude pink. And a little trick for your lip liner. Normally your first kind of impulse is to go here from the center and out. If you work from the outside in, you're gonna get a little bit more fullness if that's your goal. If you don't care about full lips, do what you want to do. But I like to add a little bit of fullness, especially since I know I'm going to be adding a gloss, and get that kind of really nice pout. I'm going to start on the outside. Okay, and then I'm going to do this side the same way. Then I like to kind of almost go in a straight line here at the bow. So I'm almost overlining it just a bit. And then come down here and do the same thing. And then I'm gonna take a little bit here in the center. I'm gonna use this as a base for my gloss so it stays on a little bit longer. And the gloss I've chosen is the Milani brand in Luminoso. And oh, it's just this really pretty pink, kind of sheer color. It's got some gold flecks in it. Really nice and summery. Super easy to reapply if you're out and about. There we go. So it gives you a really full kind of pouty look to go along with your shimmery cheeks. And then I'm gonna brush through the brows one more time because that's just who I am. Gotta make sure they look nice. All right, and that is the finished look, you guys. So this would be a good look if you have a summer picnic to go to. I don't know if we can get to go to picnics this year because of COVID-19. But if you just want to kind of feel a little bit more special, maybe you're going to a pool, maybe you're just laying out in the backyard and felt like feeling glamorous, this is a great look for that. Again, this is a lot different from what I would wear to the office. I don't usually put color on all the way up to my brow bone here, but I think it looks really nice when the light hits it. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.